Thank you so much for that kind introduction. I am so very excited to be here today at MISK Talk and being part of the important work that the MISK Foundation is doing to expand and give access to knowledge, innovation, and insight into how we can cultivate growth and quality in our daily lives. Since I was a little girl, I've been fascinated to understand what makes us happy and healthy human beings. And I realized along the years that it's not so simple, because we're more complex than just a list of healthy, perfect habits. So today we're going to rethink self-care together so that we can harness our human potential, and especially in times of change as we're looking ahead at what's to come. Now, change is an interesting topic itself, because even though we're wired to survive and we always find a way to adapt to circumstances over time, that kind of sudden change that we experienced with COVID is stressful to our nervous system, because we don't know what to expect, and it's the kind of change that happens to us. And it can render us feeling powerless. This is where self-care comes in. Self-care is how we can learn how to be more aware, adaptable, and agile, and harness change to innovate and grow without losing our health and happiness to keep up. First, however, we need to break up with the myth of self-care. We tend to think of self-care as something that we do after work, when we're exhausted, when we need to recover, or when we come to the point of burnout and need a complete reset. We also tend to think of it as a treat, a luxury, rather than an essential core foundation for our existence. When we are running on survival mode, we are reactive, and we wait to take care of ourselves until we get sick. Self-care is proactive, and it's how we can focus on preventive health as well. But self-care is a mindset that comes before that list of habits. It's a relationship we have with ourselves that affects how we think, engage with others, and how we act and show up in our work and on our daily lives in general. What we have to realize is that because of COVID now, health is no longer a nice to have. It's a must have. We used to think of time as our most precious currency, but now it's our health. The change we need is to look at our human health as the foundation for a healthy company, a healthy culture, and a healthy economy. We must incorporate health, well-being, and self-care into our work strategies, not just our lifestyles. We need to consider our work style here too. It's no longer a matter of work-life balance, where we just juggle time to figure it out. It's a matter of work-life quality, where we include health in our everyday work life. The other thing that has become apparent with COVID is the importance of our whole human health. We tend to focus so much on physical health, but we must include emotional and mental health to be whole humans and thrive in the future. Now, we tend to think of mental health as mental illness, but it's not. We all have mental health, all the time, every day, just like we have physical health. The question is, how do we take care of it? But essentially that means we need to learn to listen to ourselves better first. We have been so busy for years running faster to keep up with technology. It's time to pause. Pause so that we can be discerning about how we take care of ourselves and each other, and make choices that support us in being at our best, instead of unhealthy choices because we're too busy to care. But let's be honest, when was the last time you had a good chat with your own body? I mean, a really good chat, the kind where you ask, how are you in there? What do you need? We ask that of each other all the time, and we need to start having that kind of relationship with ourselves too. What could change if you were to ask yourself the daily question, hey, how are you in there? And what do you need so that you can? It's a small, simple question with a big impact. This is how we can take charge of our daily health, by learning what we need at any given time, instead of ignoring ourselves until we break down. This is how self-care is a continuous part of our everyday lives, making choices that support our immune system, helping us perform at our best throughout the day so that we can be more present, feel more energized, have more vitality, and be more resilient, because true resilience comes from being supported rather than just using our bodies to work for us. We need to learn how to be a team. We need our bodies to take care of us, as much as they need us to take care of them. We need to be a team with our own bodies. That is how we can create long-term and sustainable health and also success as well. The self-care mindset is how we work better because it's a key ingredient in our emotional intelligence, but also in our human intelligence, or as I would like to call it, our heart intelligence. We're shifting from a work culture running on survival mode to a work culture working on connection mode. With COVID putting us into a more isolated work environment, we see the impact of isolation on human health and our need for connection and community to be healthy. As whole humans, it's essential to the future of health. Our physical, emotional, and mental health is not just one or the other. It's an interactive and continuous relationship that makes us thrive. We need connection, and it starts with learning how to reconnect with ourselves. We might be wired for survival, but we're wired for connection first, and without connection, we end up running on survival mode. That's our modern life challenge. The disconnect and the impact on our health. We need to belong. We need to be part of a greater whole to be healthy. We need to have meaning and purpose as well. It's important that we acknowledge how we feel. Our emotions are important information. They're not a problem. They're an opportunity to be empathetic, which is a key ingredient in health, but also in leadership in the future. Think about AI, trying to learn how to be more human by learning how to feel emotions. So emotions must be good, right? Emotions help us understand ourselves and each other better. It's a key factor in human behavior and communication, and in health. To access our emotions, though, we need to learn to pause, just for a moment, so that we can bring our attention to how it feels inside. Mindfulness is a crucial factor in our future health, knowing ourselves better, being in touch with our own human body, physically, emotionally, and mentally, instead of just running automatic where we are reactive and end up losing our health and happiness. I call it power pausing. That small gap in time where you can make a change, adapt to a challenge in front of you, make a conscious choice, and support yourself in being at your best. It's also how we become more resilient. Instead of just pushing harder to get through, we pause. Pause. And see what we need to be able to keep going. That moment where we realize we might just need a glass of water, 5-minute walk, a stretch. Reach out to somebody to talk. Ask for help because we're stuck with the same problem for too long. Or maybe we're hungry and need some food. This simple support system that makes us healthy humans is so basic that we tend to forget to pay attention to it. We need to give pause, space, and time for us to be healthy. Imagine a culture of pausing, where we can cultivate a culture of care and be inclusive of our core human needs, where human health is not an afterthought or a side hustle, not something we do for ourselves, but rather because health is a shared awareness that benefits all of us. What I most often hear is we feel guilty that we're taking time out for ourselves for self-care. But in the future of work, health is how we work, how we design spaces, and how we manage time. How we use technology to support us instead of wearing us out because we're trying to keep up. Self-care doesn't take time away. It gives us time back because it helps us be more productive, effective, kind, and communicate. It's an opportunity we cannot miss right now to teach people self-care skills, because self-care is no longer a personal problem. It's a cultural opportunity. Thank you.